laundry day. Had to put it back on. If I need to explain this to you, you're not a trucker. And if I need to explain to anybody how speaking the truth about historical facts does not equal hate or hate speech, then you're not using your gray matter or a dictionary for that matter. And I'm going live today to address this whole war on the truth, because there is a war on truth, just like it says in Revelation. There's a war on the truth, not my truth or your truth, but the truth. You know, fire is hot, ice is cold, water is wet. Me saying that, does that equal hate? What I just said is the truth, right? Those are truths, right? Fire is hot, water is wet, and ice is cold. It takes a very deceptive person to want to debate or argue those truths. And that's why I'm doing this live today, to address this war on the truth, and how they don't want the masses of people to know the truth, because it stems from a very ancient book, and one who said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth, not your truth or my truth, but the truth shall make you free. Full stop. And y'all still think there aren't any slaves on the planet. Well, let me be specific. There aren't any slaves in America. You know, you don't know how to make a slave? I'm going to tell you how to make a slave. Chain them up here. Shalom, Pat. Thank you for joining. But today is about, we're talking about the war on truth. There's a war on truth. Online and basically anywhere you go, there's a war on the truth. I'm not talking about my truth. I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about truth. Truth. You know, you can't get on some of these formats and speak historical facts that are proven, that are indisputable, without being reported for hate speech. So my question stands, and it's the title of this live. Does speaking the truth about the history of this planet equal hate? It's a simple question. Does that equal hate? If I say that, you know, that one with the funny mustache, they say he's the most evil man on the planet because of what he did. But y'all don't want to talk about Leopold, who basically unalived more people than that funny mustache dude and was chopping off the hands of copper-colored people. Now, me saying that, does that equal hate? Does that mean that I'm racist because I'm pointing out a true historical fact about what happened to copper-colored people on the planet? If I talk about the Magdalene laundries, if I talk about that and what those Roman Catholics did to those young girls, because I'm gonna let y'all know it's never been about race with me. It's been about the truth, okay? Because those people, they were not copper-colored, but they were abused. They were abused. And I mean for a very long time, to the point to where some of those people survived to this day. And they received no reparation for what they went through. Does me speaking that truth about history equal hate? Because obviously there's a vast majority of people that think it does. And I really would like to know the thought process that someone has to go through to be so triggered by the historical facts that someone states that they have to report, block, harass, insult someone for speaking it. Because usually when somebody speaks the truth about history, they're called a racist, they're called a hater, they say they're spreading hate. But that's not true. That's not logical. That's right. Doc, if you would just okay, I'm going to do this because I know this is the first time I've seen your name, Doc. This live is not for arguments, debates, or wars. This live is about conversations. And conversations, regardless of what your Webster says, because this is my live, right? A conversation is truthful questions and answers using logic to come up with solutions to problems. So if you're in the live, the only requirement, if you'd like me to address you in the comment section, the only requirement is that you step out of the live, go to my channel, read my channel's description. And if that's something that you're interested in, come back and put a greeting to everybody that's in the room. Bare minimum, 2 letters, H and I, before you ask a question or make a statement or try to deviate from the topic, whether you agree or disagree, whether you like what you see or not. Just greet everybody in the room because that's a civilized thing to do. And yo is acceptable to a degree, Doc. So I'm gonna go and I'm gonna go ahead and address what you typed. Doc says, what about 30 million people in the Middle East unalived? Yeah. What about them? That's what you call, if you're talking about what's going on the Gaza Strip, or if you're talking about what happened in the Islamic slave trade or the transatlantic slave trade, yeah, all of that was terrible. And anybody that tries to deviate from that truth, they're trying to chain you up here. And as far as reparations, anybody that was damaged deserves reparations. Anybody that was abused, anybody that was made victim of, they deserve reparations. They do. And a lot of these things nobody talks about. And I tell you what, Doc, if you can't be respectful, if you like ninjas, go watch Enter the 36 Chambers and please exit my live. I don't have time to play with you. If you want to play with a child, go to Toys R Us. They're out of business. You can have your business there, not here. If you want to be disrespectful, you can do that somewhere else. If you need some help, I'll be more than glad to help you because you're part of the problem with what you typed. You like ninjas. I'm not a ninja. Okay? It's called mutual respect. And like I said, you're trying to pick an argument. I don't appreciate it. Hex and Hammer, I know you heard what I said. And you're not going to quickly do anything on this live. If you can't greet everybody in this room with bare minimum 2 letters, you're not a civilized person. And I don't wish to have a conversation with you, nor do you have any business with here. So you and Doc can just kindly scroll on. Okay? Thank you, Jason. I appreciate you. Thank you for joining today. Yeah, Khalid, if you would just follow the protocol, just go to my channel, read the description. It tells you who I am and what this channel is for. And if that's something that you'd like to address, I'd be more than happy to address Native Americans. But until then, I'm not going to do that. And I'm a little heated right now, so forgive me. I'm going to be honest with you. I am the mad trucker, and I'm heated today because I'm tired of this war on truth. Everybody wants to talk about their feelings like they're supposed to trump facts. Everybody wants to come and disrespect other people, and they demand respect. So forgive me, Hexhammer. If you did say hello, hello. Thank you for joining the live. You're more than welcome to come. And this live is welcome to anybody, regardless of your color, regardless of your financial status, regardless of your religion, to have a conversation about the topic of the live. And the topic of the live today is, does speaking history equal hate? Does speaking history equal hate? I'm going to address you, Hex and Hammer. Let me go back up. Yeah, that goes, Hex and Hammer says, agree, the Black community deserves reparations, and so do Native Americans. But I covered that. That was a blanket statement that covers all of that. What I said specifically, Hex and Hammer, is that anybody who was abused or made victim of deserves reparation, regardless of what community they're from, regardless of who they are, regardless of their, regardless. If you were made victim, if you were damaged in any way, you deserve reparations. That's what's called righteousness. And that doesn't exist in America. Matter of fact, it's hard pressed to find anywhere on the planet nowadays, which goes back to the title Alive. There's a war on the truth. Since when does speaking historical facts equal hate? If I tell people, yeah, copper colored people, they're still being treated unfairly in southern states in America based on their skin tone. That's a truth. It's not a victim mentality that's the problem people have. It's a slave master mentality. That's the problem with the world. Everybody wants to rule and run somebody else. Everybody wants to put their foot on the back of somebody's neck and say, I own you. Do what I tell you to do. And if you don't, I'm going to shun you. I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to ostracize you. I'm going to make victim of you. And here's a question on that note. How can anyone that has that mentality truthfully call themselves a Christian, a Hebrew, or a Muslim? How? How does that make sense? I really would like to know, because it doesn't. That math has never been mathing to me. If you get on certain formats and you just read certain parts of the Bible, you get reported for hate speech. If you point out the atrocities that, governments have perpetrated on all peoples, because it's not the greater or lesser of who had it worse. It's not a matter of, okay, well, whose oppression is the worst? Oppression is oppression, whether it's a little bit or a lot. I'm a veteran. I'm gonna tell you something, okay? You know something? A 22 caliber bullet will unalive somebody or something, just like a 50 cal, just like a 7.62, just like a 30-06. It doesn't matter. Small or large, it's still a bullet. You can still unalive somebody with that. So when we talk about reparations, you have to look at who's been damaged today, not just throughout history, today, and look at why it's being done. Everybody wants to talk about racism, but when you speak about racism truthfully, you're called a racist. You don't have to be a racist to know what racism is. You don't have to be a racist to know the definition of terms like race, racism, and know where they come from. You don't have to be that. It's totally illogical. Hex and Hammer, I hope, man, I was with 302nd U.S. Army. I appreciate that. But at the end of the day, I appreciate everybody for joining. And Mr. Bongsters, if you would just go ahead and greet everybody in the room. Greet everybody in the room with bare minimum 2 letters, H and I. I'll be more than happy to address your comment. But if you can't address everybody in this room in a civilized manner, I respectfully decline, and I will ask you to read my channel description and come back. And then we can have a conversation about what you typed. Because if you can't do that, thank you, sir. That's not my culture. That's not my custom, but that counts as a greeting. Okay, let's look at it. It says, everyone has been damaged, but money does not equal peace. You're absolutely right. Because you have to have peace within yourself. And guess what? Peace is free. If you want peace of mind, you can have it. You can have a peace that transcends all understanding. And that's what people get me wrong. Just because I'm mad don't mean I don't have peace. And just because you have peace, that doesn't mean it can't be disrupted. And it disrupts my peace knowing that people really have this mentality that speaking the truth equates to hate. Love is an action. Hate is an inaction. If you hate somebody, you don't pay them any mind if you hate someone, right? If you love somebody, that means you pay them attention. You know that you got your eye on them. You're watching them. Love is an action. Love is a verb. Some people say hate is a verb, but hate is a verb of inaction. Hate is the action of taking no action. That's what hate is. And we're living backwards. People call love hate and hate love. I don't get it. I really don't. I don't understand that. How telling somebody a truth that will prevent them from going down the wrong path equals hate. I don't understand that. I don't comprehend that. How telling somebody the history, the truth about history, so that their children and their children and their children's children's children don't repeat those atrocities equals hate. I don't understand that. That makes no logical sense to me. And if that makes sense to you, please, you have a comment section, type a greeting, and let me know how I'm wrong by saying that. It's simple. Let's be truthful. Let's just speak the truth one to another. That's all. Yeah, that's I appreciate your opinion, Pat. And I can sort of agree with that opinion. You're absolutely right. They act in fear. That's the whole thing. Like copper-colored people in America, they're scared to give copper-colored people, they're scared to talk about the true history of copper-colored people in this country, because the ones in power think that if they give reparation to poor people, poor copper-colored people, that we gonna do to them what their ancestors did to our ancestors. But that's not true. That's not true. It's not true. Civilized people, civilized people. Let's be civilized. Let's speak truthfully. And stop calling the truth hate. It's not hate. Yeah, amen. People, Hex and Hammer says, we all have to agree on the history. But you got a lot of folks who cherry pick history and push their hate. Well, what it is they cherry pick and tell half truths with your whole lives. They tell you that George Washington never told a lie, right? They turned the Moroccan flag into a cherry tree and made up this elaborate lie about George Washington, didn't they? I did not chop down that cherry tree, but he chopped it down, didn't he? And it wasn't a cherry tree that he chopped down. It was the Moroccan flag that he chopped down. Let's speak truthfully. That's what they do. You're absolutely right, Hexenhammer, and I appreciate you for your input. Yeah, it is broad, but you know what? It's a broad paintbrush that I'm using. But it's all encompassing. The truth can never be a lie, and a lie can never be the truth. You have to agree to that. A lie can never be the truth, and the truth can never be a lie. But I find that on a lot of these social media formats, when people speak or they type truthful statements, usually defending the truth against someone who lies about a topic, they're called haters. They're reported, and it's because of their fear, like Pat said. It's a fear they have. Unless you know what God or what Elohim they serve. And if you fear the truth, it's not the truth that you fear, it's the one you call Christ. For he said, I am the truth, the way, and the life. So people that are scared of the truth, they get offended by the truth. They got to insult you for speaking the truth. It's not you that they're attacking. It's not you that they're speaking ill of. It's the truth that they're speaking ill of. Regardless if they call him Yahushua, Christ, Isa, Yeshua, but it's the truth that they're offended at. And that's their personal problem. And that's why I do this channel in hopes that they'll come out of that well-dressed lie to really study these things for themselves. I always say that likes are appreciated but never required. Subs are appreciated but never required. I do not do YouTube for financial gain. I don't get paid for this. Other than people researching the things that I'm bringing to the forefront for themselves. That's what my channel is for. Research the information. Don't come at me. Come at the information that I'm providing. And if there's any cap or any falsehood in the information that I'm providing, because I said so, it's wrong because I said so, is not a logical answer. But if you do find any falsehood or cap in what I put out there, I am a man and I can agree if I'm wrong, because it's each one teach one. Iron sharpens iron, you know, and I don't want to fall on my sword. And I'm tired of watching people fall on their swords around me by getting triggered because myself or somebody else speaks truth to power on a social media format. You know, I was on TikTok for 3 years. They shut down my account because I started speaking truth about the scripture. Started speaking about the one that you call Jesus. You know, that depiction that these Catholics been parading around on them crosses. He doesn't match the description in the book. Oh, you're a hater. That's hate speech. No, it's not. That's the truth. Luke painted a portrait of Christ and Mary. That's not the truth either. That's a lie. Because how does it make sense? How did Luke paint a picture of Christ's mother and Christ as a baby when Luke didn't meet Christ until he was a full-grown man? That's a good question, Pat. And I do it every day. It's a day-by-day walk. That's the path. That's the struggle. We have to seek it. Look at, yeah, they're messing with my live now. I know. Pat. They're messing with my live, which proves the point. You know, you get to speaking truth or having truthful conversations to try to reach some type of understanding. I hope I'm back. Just let me know when I'm coming through clear, and I'll repeat what I said. Matter of fact, I'm gonna repeat it anyway. And if you miss it again, I'm gonna repeat it until you catch it. What I said was the question Pat asked was, where can we begin to find the truth? How can we apply it in our daily lives? Okay, seek and you'll find it. Whatever you seek, if you put your energy, time, and effort into seeking something, you will find it. You will find it. You can read. I start with the Bible, the 66 books in the Bible. Then I would seek the books that they took out of the Bible, what they call the Apocrypha, and read it. And then I would seek the Quran, read it. You know, I would read that as well. I would seek the Torah. I would seek all of these religious texts, you know, and seek the truth. And the truth, okay? And see, that's the thing that's so beautiful about the Savior. Christ said, if I do not leave, the Comforter cannot come, right? The Comforter is the Holy Spirit, not ghost, but Holy Spirit, that Christ said he would send to bring us all into remembrance. So when you read these books, when you read those 66, then you read the Apocrypha, then you read the Quran, then you read the Torah, then even read the Talmud, let you know how twisted those people are. Read those books and you pray and you seek the truth. Well, what makes kingdom sense? Not common sense, but kingdom sense. Because kingdom sense, it transcends common sense because, Pat, you're not a commoner. You are not a commoner. If you are in this live right now, you're watching me, you are not a commoner unless you choose to be one. There's nothing common about you. You are unique and wonderfully made. I can't even see you, but you are unique and wonderfully made. Whoever's watching this, you're unique. There's nothing common about you. But if you decide to make yourself a commoner, that's on you. But that's not what you are. And it goes back to what I said earlier about how do you make a slave? You chain them up here. Get the people to think that they're common when they're not. Get people to buy into a well-dressed lie and let go of the butt-naked truth. And reward them for promoting a well-dressed lie. And there are few that actually want to be honest and truthful with themselves and others. I try to. I really do. Every day. And it is a struggle every day. It's a struggle. But anything worth having is worth fighting for. Anything worth having is worth looking for. You know, Christ had told a story about the 100 sheep. He said he had 99 sheep and one went astray. And when the shepherd found that one, he rejoiced more over that one than he did the 99. Well, you have to be a shepherd. You have to shepherd all this information and read it and try to make some sense out of it and apply it in your life and watch it's going to work. That's what works for me. That's why I can be mad and still have joy. I can still leap to the opportunity to say, hey, look, no, that's not true. I love you enough to tell you what I know. I love you enough to tell you what I know. And if what I know is not accurate, if what I know is not truthful, I'm also man enough to say, okay, well, yeah, you know, I didn't know that part. I researched that part and I didn't know that part. That's a piece I was missing. And it kind of blows everything I said out of the water. And you know what? The Mad Trucker was wrong. And that's why I do these lives too. Because if anybody can find the cap in what I put out there after they research what I'm saying, okay, you give me your receipts in the comment section after you greet the room and everybody in it, and I will look into those things. And if I'm wrong, I will recant any video that I put out on this format. Because that's what a man that quests righteousness tries to do. If what I'm doing ain't right, let me know why. And because I said so, or because somebody told me, that's not going to cut it. I need hardcore, critical truth. You know, and you should as well. Don't believe things because the Mad Trucker's saying it. Who am I? I'm some mad trucker. Some stanky, funky mad trucker on YouTube. You going to believe it because I said so? Or are you going to believe it because I said so, and then you researched it and you found that, hey, Mad Trucker wasn't lying. There's some truth in what the Mad Trucker said. Wow. And like I said, likes are appreciated, never required. Subs are appreciated, never required. I'm not doing this for money. I'm not doing this to go viral. I'm doing this for my channel statement. Full stop. That's why I'm doing this. For those that want to come out of well-dressed lies. To free themselves. From those well-dressed lies we all have been programmed to believe are truth, when they're not. In a lot of cases, they're half-truths and whole lies. That says, I find as much as I try to apply the truth to my day, I am met with so much resistance from people who don't even know me. You're absolutely right, Pat. And that's what's going to happen. And that's what strengthens my faith. Because the same thing happens to me. The same thing is going to happen to anybody, regardless if you black, white, Muslim, Christian. It doesn't matter. You speak truth to power, you're going to get resistance. Yeah. And matter of fact, those are going to be the first ones, Pat. Ask me how I know. They're going to be the first ones. Your friends and your family are going to be the first ones to look at you crazy, to look at you like there's something wrong with you. But there ain't nothing wrong with you. Because it's that Holy Spirit, the Spirit of truth, that brings everything into our remembrance. Remember. A member of what? A member of Yah's people, of what you call God's people. Remember our nature to become a member of our true nature again. To remember, it brings things in our remembrance. Love is patient, love is kind, love is not self-serving, love is not boastful, love is long-suffering. Long-suffering means what you choose to go through. Everybody doesn't choose to go through it. Matter of fact, well-dressed lies are very comfortable. And that's why you get a lot of resistance. That's why I get a lot of resistance. That's why people get a lot of resistance when they speak true historical facts, when they speak truth to power on any social media format. Because they're comfortable in well-dressed lies. And they're not going to come out of it. And that's why I don't care. I got one person watching. If there's one person watching, that's fine. I'm still going to run my mouth. I'm going to talk. I'm still going to do this live. I'm still going to do what I'm doing. And to all the trolls that want to come and troll me, insult me, hey, ain't no need you coming to check on me. I'm doing the same thing I was doing yesterday. I'm going to be doing the same thing tomorrow. You know, try to expose these well-dressed lies that have us slaves up here. Yeah. You know, I appreciate all of you. Mr. Bonsis, thank you. Hex and Hammer, thank you. Jason's channel, thank you.
And forgive me earlier for kind of snapping off. Khalid Ali. Doc, thank you for coming and insulting people by calling folks ninjas. Because I know what you really mean. And no, what you deserve is to never come back to my channel again until you develop some wrinkles, bumps, and lumps in your gray matter, Doc Knapp. Because it's obvious you don't have any. If you did, you wouldn't have typed that. Okay? You're a walking ego. You need to work on your ego. You think it's about you, and it's not. It's bigger than you. Much bigger than you. At the end of the day, you say that when I explain or try to explain to people what the truth is, I'm told God wrote the Bible. Well, the thing is, Pat, it's not for everybody. And I wouldn't try to explain it to anybody that doesn't want to listen. It's sort of like I did a video where I did a stitch where a gentleman says, when an atheist asks me to explain God exists, and I did a stitch video where I said, you know what, to somebody that's convinced of something, no matter what you say, no matter what evidence or proof you show them, no matter the compelling evidence, they're not going to be convinced because they already have their minds made up. They already have their minds chained in a little box, and they're too scared to step out of it. Goes back to that fear you were talking about earlier. They're scared to step out on something that conflicts with what they've been told. It conflicts with a political truth. Political truth. It's true because somebody said so. It's not true because they looked into it. It's not true because they researched it. It's not true because they did the knowledge. It's true because somebody said so. And that's the only thing that makes it true. That's illogical. That makes no sense. It has to be true because you seek it for yourself and approaching your salvation with fear and trembling. That's how you find the truth. The Holy Spirit will bring all things into your remembrance. You're going to know if something's true or if it ain't. You're going to know. And if other people don't get it, that's the way it's supposed to run. Everybody not going to get it. The majority of people on the planet not going to get it, Pat. They're not going to get it. You know, and they talk about Bible. You know, when they say that to you, just remind them that the word Bible means collection of books. So when you talk about a Bible, which one you talking about? And I'm not talking about versions. I'm talking about which Bible, which collection of books are you referring to? The Puretum Keru, what they call coming forth by day by night, the Kemetic Book of the Dead. That's what they call it. That's a Bible. It's a collection of books. An encyclopedia is a Bible because it is a collection of books. So when people say that God wrote the Bible, I remind them of that fact that the word Bible means collection of books. Yeah, and see that's blind faith. That's blind faith, Pat. When people follow it because they might be right, it means they haven't tested it by the Holy Spirit. They haven't tested it by the Ruach HaKodesh to see if what it is true. They don't care. They just want to save their own skin. You know, it's a love. It said, you've heard the commandment to love thy neighbors, you love thyself, but I say to you, love your enemies, you love yourself. It don't mean run up and hug your enemy. It means, okay, you pay attention to your enemy. You pay attention to him. Look, yeah, you might be my enemy, but at the end of the day, that doesn't mean that I can't give you a word if you step to me wrong. If somebody's your enemy, they're looking for you. It's not like you're looking for them. Your neighbors, they live with you in your community, right? But your enemy comes into your community to disrupt your community. And out of love, that enemy is the what? Tell that enemy the truth. Hey, enemy, what you believe in, what you riding with, how you coming at me, man, is totally foul according to my standard and my culture. That's not my culture. I'm not Latin. I'm not Greek. I'm not Roman. That's not my culture. Now, if you want to disrupt and my community by pushing your opinion or your ideology, just know it's not going to work out. Think about it like this. They say if you walk into a room with, no, I'm not going to use that analogy. But I think you understand what I mean, Pat. I want to thank everybody for joining today. You know, the ones that came in and started barking, the ones that came in and were respectful, the ones that agree, the ones that disagree. Because like I said, it's welcome to everybody, even the trolls. Y'all want to come in here and start slinging insults, that's fine. It ain't going to last too long, but you're more than welcome to do that and show people how uncivilized you are and how mentally deficient you are to have a conversation, a truthful conversation with somebody or have a respectful dialogue with somebody. That's what trolls do. They come in and, I like ninjas. Because they don't feel good unless they try to make somebody else feel bad. And it exposes how miserable they really are. And that's what brings me peace. I really feel sorry and earthly for them. I really do. I feel sorry for them. People that do that. And that's not no cap. That's not me being sarcastic. That's not me being a smart aleck. I really do feel sorry for them. You have people on these formats that actively go look for people they disagree with to insult them. Instead of asking them, why do you believe that? What's your reasoning behind coming to the conclusion that what you're saying is true or what you're saying is valid? They're not going to do that because arguments are synonymous with wars. Wars are synonymous with debates, and all of that causes problems. Conversations. That's the only thing that solves problems. That's why they don't want people having them. They want to keep people arguing, debating, and going to war with one another so they can control all of us up here. Up here. But me, I freed myself. There isn't a box that anybody can stick me in that I'm going to fit. Trust me. And when people start to realize the same thing within themselves, we might turn this around. But I got a book that says it's not going to happen. I got a book that says they're going to persecute you. They're going to jail you. They're going to unalive you just for speaking truth. Just for speaking truth. And I guarantee you, that's why I'm holding on to it. It's not because it's not that I'm following because they might be right. I know it's right because of the 50 years I've been on this planet and how people have been interacting with each other and how that Bible brings out the true nature of man, how it describes our shortcoming, how it puts us in our place, and how we have a choice. We have a choice. Everybody has a choice. Everybody has a choice. And I'm not trying to choose for nobody. I'm just trying to make myself available and give freely of myself for those that want the information. That's what I do. I provide information. You know. And that's love. That's what I choose to long suffer. I choose to go through this. I really do. Because at the end of the day, I can't take nothing down here with me. Well, it depends on the circumstance, though, Pat. Think about it like this. To keep to yourself and stay silent. If you see a man getting stabbed on the street, right, Pat? If you see somebody getting stabbed and you stay silent, you keep to yourself, you're just as guilty of stabbing that man. If you don't call the police, if you don't bring it to somebody's attention, or try to assist that person who's being stabbed. So keeping to yourself and staying silent Sometimes it's just yellow. Sometimes silence can be golden. Silence is golden. But when it comes to freedom, it's just yellow. If I see somebody abusing a child, oh, they're gonna have to chop my head off, bro. I got something for them. I really got something for them, bro. I got something for them. I really do. I got something for them. Not on my watch. Because I have morals. I got morals. And I can't sit by and let somebody do something wicked to somebody and not do something about it. I can't. It's not in my nature. It's not in my nature. It said, do unto others as you have them do unto you, for this is the law and the prophets. This is the law and the prophets. To do unto others you had them do unto you. Okay, you want to abuse a child? Okay, I'm finna abuse your ass. With these, they're gonna be hot. Better leave that little baby alone. Leave that baby alone. That baby didn't ask to be here, and you don't have no right to that child to abuse no child like that. I don't care if it's your child or somebody else's. No, I'm not gonna stand for that. And that's just an example of what I mean. And this ain't no shot pat, you know that. We just dialoguing, right? But staying to yourself sometimes, yeah, that is best. But when you see injustice, I'm not saying be no superhero, but do what you can. Do what you can. Speak up. If you can't do nothing else, this dude might be 400 pounds, beating somebody down for no reason. You ain't gonna jump on his back and think you're gonna beat him up, but you can. 911, y'all need to send a unit out here. Yeah, this man is beating up on this man right now. He's trying to kill him. Y'all need to come right now. Hurry up quick. Bare minimum. Because anybody can do that. My 10-year-old son can do that. But because that fear. Oh, I see that big man whooping up on that little dude like that. If I get in there, he gonna whoop up on me too. I'm scared. I ain't gonna say nothing. You might not be able to jump in and, you know what I'm saying? You might not be able to jump in and save him, but you can call the police, you can call the authorities, you can call somebody to come help. I'm at 43 minutes, man. But yeah, I was a little hot today. That's why I went early. That's why I'm on live early today, because it's really aggravating me. It's really aggravating. And it's Yah's will. It's the Most High's will that it go down like that, because Christ said in Revelations that it will go down like that. And it also solidifies my faith in the scripture that it is true, because it's happening. All of these things that Christ said in Revelation will happen in the last days are happening. Regardless if you want to agree or disagree, regardless of your religion, regardless, it doesn't matter. They're happening. And if you say they're not, it's because you're not looking. Because you're in a box that you don't want to come out of. It's very comfortable. It is a well-dressed lie that has you scared to speak out against what's wrong. It has people scared to admit the true history of this country. Has people too scared to stand up for what's right, And I appreciate you, Pat, for joining today. I hope you got something for man. And like I said, every time you come into the live, man, I really do appreciate you. Whether you agree or disagree, whether you follow or not, whether you sub or not, I do appreciate your presence and this dialogue, because it's respectful. And that's the thing we need to start doing, having conversations, truthful questions and answers, using logic to come up with solutions to problems that affect all of us. All of us. It's just like what's the guy's name? Perfect example of what I'm speaking of. Doc Knapp. He says that Slavs deserve the most money, and he likes ninjas. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about. You know, you don't, I mean, really? So the topic is when, it's outside of the topic. It's not even what we're talking about. But because Doc Knapp felt like he has to run things, he can't even type 2 letters and greet everybody in the room, whether they agree or disagree with him, like a civilized human being. And they just jump to some excrement. That's the best way I can explain it. Some excrement, a diversion from the topic, you know. And thank you for letting me know. Jason's channel, man, thank you for joining me for the short time that you did. Forgive me for not getting to your comment earlier. Mr. Bongsters, I appreciate your opinion. And that is your opinion. That is your opinion. And yeah, you're entitled to your opinion, however wrong it may be. Because yeah, racism is based on skin tone and power. You have to have both. A lot of people say, oh, black people can't be racist. That's not true. You have some black people that hate themselves, you know, and they go along with racism, don't they? They deny their nature and step outside of it because they got money now. A whole bunch of them. All these rappers and Oprah and yeah, they're racist because all the resources they have, they don't put in the community, regardless of what you may feel about them. And Mr. Bonks is what you're a victim of is called propaganda. Propaganda. If you think that racism is not based on skin tone, it's been based on skin tone since 1790. That's how long it's been based on skin tone. And because you type that doesn't mean that it's not true. Respectfully. And money is not the root of all evil. Avarice is the root of all evil. But if you didn't know the proper culture, that Christ, if you don't know Christ's culture or Israelite culture, you know, then you would say that money is the root of all evil. In fact, the business ain't no money in this country. Y'all got promissory notes. You pull a dollar bill out your pocket. The word money ain't printed anywhere on that piece of paper. That's what it is, a piece of paper. It doesn't take any more ink, labor, or paper to manufacture a $1 bill than it does a 5, a 10, a 20, or whatever dead slave owner and number they put on that piece of paper. They're IOUs. And people will kill you if you got a stack of them like this and you walk down the street with Benjamin Franklin on it. Gives validity what Christ said. He said, forgive them for they know not what they do. They know not what they do. How you doing, Nigel? Thank you for joining. If you have any concerns or comments, just put them in the comment section. You're more than welcome. And I appreciate you greeting everybody in the room with respect. And that's the only thing that's required, that and you read my channel description. And I appreciate you, man. It says, ye shall know the truth. Not my truth, not your truth, but the truth, you know, and the truth shall make you free. Let's get free, man. Let's get free. I want people to be free. Come out of that well-dressed lie. I know that well-dressed lie is warm and comfortable, and it grants you fame and money and wealth and popularity. That well-dressed lie. But you're a slave to that lie if you don't come out of it. Because your spirit ain't gonna be in your flesh forever. And when your spirit vacates your flesh and you finally realize laying, taking your last breath, that you can't take none of this crap down here with you, you're gonna be so sorry. So sorry.
Christ said, if you love the world, the love of the Father is not in you. Christ said that. Do you love this world? Tupac said it. He said, F the world, right? He was paraphrasing what Christ said. And I ain't saying that Tupac is Christ before y'all come at me with that. I'm just saying how the truth is always ostracized. When Pac was saying that, all these Christians had something negative to say. Let one word distract you from a truth that's spoken. Are you that feeble-minded? Are you that sensitive? You like tissue. You use the F word and you're not no. What kind of kingdom sense does that make? I'm not justifying it, but I'm just saying that wasn't even a word when Christ walked on this planet. And thank you, Nigel, for coming by, man. I appreciate you. You're more than welcome to come back anytime. And listening is always free. If you love the world, the love of the Father is not in you. Christ also said, and this is for you, Pat, and this is what Christ said. Christ said, if you are ashamed, he said, remember when the world hates you, it hated me first. So when you try to bring this to people that aren't receptive to the information, when you bring it to people in an aggressive manner, oh, you got to believe this. No, look, I got evidence. I'm gonna lay out the evidence. Lay it out like on a plate. This is the evidence. Now, if you can't discredit this evidence, if you don't have anything to counter this evidence, you can either roll with it or not. But you have that choice, and I can't choose for you. I'm just gonna offer it. I'm gonna speak truthfully, man. I'm tired of social media and how they play these games. They really don't want people to start waking up to the truth. And it goes into politics too. And I really feel earthly for these people that are on this politic, on the politics. Where these politicians say that there's a war on woke people. Now think about that for a minute. If you have a Webster's dictionary, look up the definition of woke. Look up the definition. Then ask yourself, why would these politicians, Republican, Democrat, Independents, say that they want a war on wokeness? You want people to sleep? You want everybody to go to sleep, huh? So you can keep finagling everybody. So you can keep, chaining up everybody. You don't want people to wake up to the lie that you've been telling. These politicians. And all of them lie. I don't give a damn if you're mayor or the president. They talk about all this good stuff they're going to do when they get in office and what's going to happen when they get in. It never happens, does it? You know what insanity is? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. I ain't got no dog in no political fight. I could care less. I do not care. Trump, Biden, Harris, I do not care. Because at the end of the day, none of them represent me. And they always tell you, you vote for who represents you. Don't they? Don't they? Voting is basically choosing the lesser of two evils, but choosing the lesser of two evils is still choosing evil, ain't it? And ain't nobody holding a gun in your head telling you got to choose. And if they are, you got free will to tell them no, thank you. If I got a little puppy, bring a little puppy over here. Let me see a little puppy. Nubis. You see Nubis? This is Nubis. See Nubis? Nubis is a pit bull puppy. Now throw it in the garbage. Dump all that out the ashtray and everything that you spilled out of it. Nubis is a puppy, right? And Nubis is learning how to use the paper. Now, if I go and pick up everything that Nubis drops out of his backside and put it between two pieces of bread and offer it to you, you can tell me no thank you, can't you?
And regardless if I tell you, oh no, that's roast beef sandwich. It's a roast beef sandwich. It doesn't look like it, but it's roast beef. You can tell me no, right? Because if I told you that it's roast beef, I'm lying to you, ain't I? I'm just saying, man. That's what politics is. Republican, Democrat, you can put a label on either one. What it is, I got 2 ice cream cones. I go into a cow pasture and I get an ice cream scoop. And I got 2 ice cream cones, right? And I get the ice cream scoop and I scoop the cow dung and I put a scoop on each one. Make it look like chocolate ice cream. Then I get some whipped cream and a cherry and I spray it on one. Put it on one and leave the other one plain. And you're the people. You're the people. And this is voting. You pick one. Pick one. Which one do you want? You got to pick one. That's politics. And whichever one you want to say is Republican or Democrat is really irrelevant. At the end of the day, you're still eating bull excrement. One is just a little bit sweeter going down. But you can say, no, thank you, Manchester. I don't want it. I'm not going to pick either one. You can do that, right? If you're not a slave in your mind, and I'm not a slave in my mind, I don't have to pick. Because regardless of who I would pick, I'm not going to pick. And here's the truth that's going to really burn some people up. Whichever one you pick, you got to eat down to the tip of that cone. And you can't complain to nobody for how it tastes but you. Because you picked it. If the politician is supposed to represent you, if the president is really voted in by the people, why was George Bush president when Al Gore won the state of Florida? Why do we have an electoral college? Those are the ones that pick the president, not the people. They could care less about what the people want. And in the words of George Clinton, give the people what they want when they want, and they want it all the time. And they ain't gonna give people freedom. That's what people really want. They don't want truth, man. They call it hate. But there's one that sits up high and looks down low, that knows it ain't hate. It's really love. Telling people the truth. That's love. Telling people the truth when they want to turn around and rent you, when they want to cut your head off for telling them. And they ask. I'm gonna make it a series. I'll do a playlist on these Catholics that came at me and asked me a question. And when I gave them a truthful answer, they started to attack me. They started to insult me. Started to say I'm the problem. They tried to put me in little boxes I don't fit in. Well, I'm a Protestant. I'm still laughing about that one. Yeah, call me a Protestant. Said I'm one of those people. And to the point where it's had somebody else come in and try to finish their fragmented sentence to tell me what they really meant. Like they live inside that person's head. But it is a lesion. Yeah, those people that subscribe to well-dressed lies, they sell their psyche to the adversary. That's what they do. They sell their psyche to the adversary. The psyche in Latin, that's where they get that word soul from, you know. Yeah. That's where that word soul comes from. The psyche. Psyche. How a person thinks. And I appreciate all of you. Pat, thanks for joining. I'm going to sign off now. Pat, thanks for joining. We're coming up on the hour mark. And thank you, Pat. Thank you, Nigel Partridge. Thank you for joining. Let's see who else joined us today. I want to say to Mr. Bongsters, thank you for your opinion. Thank you for joining today. Hex and Hammer, thank you for joining today. I appreciate your input. All of you, I appreciate your input. Because it lets me know how you think. Who else? Jason's channel, thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you. Khalid Ali, thank you for joining. Doc Knapp, thank you for joining the live today. And offering us your diversions and your little insults. I appreciate you. Gavin, thank you for your input. Just next time, if you would, just put a simple HI hello and then proceed. Because regardless if you agree with the people in the room or me, let's just be civilized. That's a requirement for the live. That's why I didn't address it. Who else joined us today? And I think that's it. So on that note, I'm the Mad Trucker. I hope y'all got something from this. You know, just had to come on and a little early and vent today. And in closing, I want to say to everybody that joined today, may the Most High bless you and keep you. May his countenance be gracious unto you. May the Most High smile upon you and grant you shalom. That means peace. Thanks for joining, man.